Hey guys, magandang gabi and welcome to another episode of Jasper's Movie Thoughts, where we talk about the world of movies, shows, tech, and video games sa Pilipinas, Amerika at sa iba't-ibang parte pa ng mundo. And yes, I'm your host, Jasper Abibas, handa na makipag-daldalan tungkol sa mga bagay na nagpapasaya sa atin. And yun nga, magandang gabi ngayon guys. Madami tayong papag-usapan ngayon, especially future Marvel movies. Una nating papag-usapan ay yung Black Widow trailer na nilabas itong 3 hours ago lang. I-explain ko yung reaction ko and yung review ko about sa trailer na to. What should I expect? What should we expect? Papag-usapan din natin itong Morbius na trailer by Sony. At bakit nga pala nagpakita itong poster ni Spider-Man sa trailer ni Morbius? Sino ba tong Morbius na to? Sino ba tong character na to? Part ba siya ng Marvel Cinematic Universe? Magko-crossover ba yung Tom Holland na Spider-Man pati itong Morbius na character na to? Papag-usapan natin mamaya. Papag-usapan din natin na yung top 11 movies ko ng 2019. And also, for our story time, ano nga bang story time? Kahit ano gusto mong pag-usapan. Pero, for this night, papag-usapan natin yung A Very Special Love Trilogy by, Mr. Lloyd Cruz and Miss Sarah Geronimo. At yun, magsimula na tayo. Pero bago yun, gusto ko muna sabihin sa inyo na yung mga nanonood sa Pilipinas dyan, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, hanggang ngayon pumuputok pa rin yung Bulkang Taal. So please mag-ingat-ingat kayo. Stay at home. Always stay safe. Huwag kayong pumasok kung pinipilit kayong pumasok kasi health muna bago trabaho, bago financial needs. Kasi prevention is key. Kapag nagkasakit kayo, baka mas malaking gastusin nyo sa future. So mag-iingat kayo guys. Ipagdasal na lang natin na tumigil na itong pagputok na to. So let's start muna dito sa teka, hindi ko magaling ano ngayon ayun, there we go. Papag-usapan natin yung Black Widow trailer. So a few months ago naglabas yung Black Widow ng unang trailer nila, which is like some kind of a reunion film. It sets between Civil War and Infinity War, kaya spoiler alert, buhay pa si Black Widow. So for me, I'm not a fan of prequels kasi halatang prequel film to. I always wanted a movie that that goes forward, sequels, ano yung mangyayari, ano yung aftermath ng movie before nun. But for this thing, while ayaw ko muna siya i-judge kasi di ko pa napapanood, pero it's a Black Widow film. She really deserves a movie kasi she's been like this side character the whole time, since her first appearance sa Iron Man 2. And I'm just so thankful na Marvel is going to expand her character through this movie. So yung bali sa trailer 2, we get the same kind of story. She's now a fugitive, especially after Civil War. She's in hiding na, that's why he changed her hair color doon sa Infinity War. And then nakipag-reunite siya sa mga taong connected sa kanya way before she met the Avengers. So may mga superhero dito na hindi ko kilala kasi I don't read the Black Widow comics, but there is this one person na kilala ko. Wait, let me check kung sino yun. Si Taskmaster. Si Taskmaster siya ang ability niya ay kaya niyang kopyahin yung mga moves mo. And then, paano mo makakalaban yung isang kalaban na alam kung paano kang gumalaw, right? Aatak ka pa lang and then he already know how to defend it kasi he knows how you move. So yun nga, yun si Taskmaster. Siya yung lumabas dito sa final shot ng film right here. Siya yung nasa kaliwa. And usually sa comics, he has a skull mask or something. Ang unang exposure ko kay Taskmaster ay sa Spider-Man, sa Marvel Spider-Man video game sa PS4. Yun talagang literal na unang exposure ko sa kanya. Wala akong alam na he exists until that game na. So, I don't know what to expect. Ang maganda lang about dito kasi dati when they announced that this film is going to get released, we're already getting a Black Widow film. Hindi ako sure about doon. How is it going to work? Kaya ba ni Black Widow i-carry itong sariling movie niya? But, ever since I saw the first trailer and then this second trailer, I'm more getting excited because it's giving me this Winter Soldier vibe. And for those guys who don't know, Captain America Winter Soldier is my favorite MCU film, alongside with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and Thor Ragnarok, and also Avengers Infinity War. What I like about the Winter Soldier film is that it's a superhero movie na para siyang spy film at the same time. Captain America is in hiding. It reminded me a lot of the Civil War comic books where inabandon ni Captain America yung shield, if I am not mistaken, kung tama ako. And same thing here. It's just Black Widow abandoning the Avengers, and she has her own mission here. And I also heard na Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as Iron Man, so magpapakita yata siya dito as a cameo. But we'll see. It's just rumors. Wala pa yata nako-confirm. So yun nga, I'm excited. Ipapalabas to sa Amerika May 1, 2020. Hindi ako sigurado sa Pilipinas. Pero yun nga, I just hope na itong movie na to ay malupit. So, with that out of the way, let's go to the next topic. At ang next topic natin ngayon ay tungkol sa Morbius na trailer. So, Morbius. Pag-usapan mo natin kung sino si Morbius. Si Morbius, the living vampire, ay kalaban ni Spider-Man sa comics. Mason, there's also another vampire na pangalan niya Morlun, na kalaban din ni Spider-Man, pero hindi ko alam ang pagkakaiba nilang dalawa. They look kinda the same, mabang buhok. Anyways, yung nga si Morbius, I remember Morbius from one of the first comic issues na binili ko nung bata ko. When I was in the Philippines back then, pumunta ako sa Philbars. Nag-scan lang ako ng mga available na comic issues. And then I saw this comic cover where there's someone yung parang ginaganon si Spider-Man. And it looks like a half-dead Spider-Man too. So, na-curious ako, and that comic issue haunted me because it's sa comic issue na yon, I think it's Spider-Man's last day, and he was killed by Morbius, the living vampire. Part yun ng The Others na comics, and it has like this yung logo, yung style niya parang Da Vinci na yung taong madaming limbs. And nalilito nga ako sa Morbius and then sa Morlun character na yun. Pero ayun nga, Morbius is such a cool villain, and I really hope na hindi ko nagagamali ngayon kasi nakakaya. Pero yun ang naalala ng kabataan ko. And, last time I read the book was, years back. So, itong, sa trailer na to, we basically saw, Jared Leto as, ito, Jared Leto as Morbius. Turns out na he's a Catholic. Ngayon ko lang nalaman yon. And then he has may sakit siya. I think it was like sakit sa likod, scoliosis or something. I don't know. But he was just trying to look for a cure. So he's like, Dr. Connors, parang si Dr. Lizard na walang na amputated, walang arm. So he looked for a cure. He realized na lizards can grow back their limbs, their tails. So naglagay yata siya ng lizard DNA sa katawan niya, and then bumalik na yung kamay niya. However, he also turned into a lizard. So same thing yata kay Morbius. Gumaling nga siya, lumaki yung katawan niya, pero he also got vampire powers because of that. And I think he's also rich, so parang there's some kind of parallel kay Batman. And so nakita din natin doon mismo sa yung final shot sa trailer. So this is like his final form, which is something that I didn't know until nilabas tong picture na to like 2 to 3 days ago. So which I find interesting. Overall, it's that the trailer is good kasi ang trabaho ng trailer ay ma-excite ako, right? Para sa isang movie na trailers, it gives you kung ano yung maging atmosphere ng film, kung ano yung maging theme. It gives you some story plot points without spoiling much of the film, and it did its job, even though I find it very generic. It reminded me a lot of the first and the second Venom trailer. Typical Sony superhero villain comic book trailer. It's generic. I did like the part where si Morbius hinaham niya yung parang symphony, yung classic symphony na yun. Guess yun ako na yun. And yeah, ang interesting dito ay around the 2 minute and 20 mark sa trailer na to. There's this try ko hanapin kung nandito siya. Wait a sec lang ha. Okay, here we go. So in the 2 minute and 20 plus mark of the trailer, we got this shot. Okay, which leads to our third topic for tonight. Ibig sabihin ba nito si Morbius sa magiging part ng MCU? Dahil bakit nandyan si Spider-Man? Well, komplikado siya. Kasi we all know, magsimula tayo sa beginning, Marvel is going bankrupt. So, kailangan nilang magbenta they need to sell something para lang hindi sila mabankrupt. So, they sold the Spider-Man movie rights to Sony. That's why we got the Sam Raimi Trilogy, which is the original Spider-Man 1, 2, pati 3, which I think is one of the best trilogies out there. I didn't think Spider-Man 3 is that bad. I just think na hindi niya kasing level yung Spider-Man 1 and 2. And for me, Spider-Man 2 is still one of the best superhero movie films right now. And then they were planning to make Spider-Man 4. What happened ay um, nagkaroon ng parang kaguluhan behind the scenes. The director, Sam Raimi, napapansin niya na hindi na niya nagugustuhan kung saan papunta yung story. I heard Spider-Man 4 will feature the Vulture. It will also feature a in the beginning sa first part ng film, Mysterio, because one of the artists from Spider-Man 4 leaked this concept art of Spider-Man imprisoning a fat Mysterio. And also, I heard na lalabas din dapat si The Lizard doon. So in some point during the pre-production or something, hindi nagustuhan ni Sam Raimi kung saan papunta yung story, so he back out. Sam Raimi back out from Spider-Man 4, which also led to the cast backing out, which means nag-back out din si Tobey Maguire, which is the star of the film. Now this is going to confuse the audience, imagine them watching Spider-Man 4 while seeing a new face for Peter Parker. It's going to look weird for them. Him interacting with Kristen Dunst's Mary Jane Watson. So Sony pulled the plug. And then they decided to reboot the film, and then we got The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which starred Andrew Garfield and Emma Watson. Oh. Uh-oh. Nag-crash yata yun. Wait lang, kaya natin balikan yun. Yep, nag-crash yung ano ko. Okay. Oopsie. Technical difficulties, guys. Yun nga, so which starred Andrew Garfield and Emma Watson. They were, kung naalala nyo sa Amazing Spider-Man 2, they were trying to build up the Sinister Six, because there's a post-credit scene of, the Dr. Octopus arms. We know Rhino is still alive. We got the Vulture wings, and then there are still other. It's all Oscorp's creation, yung Sinister Six. And then naging hindi magandang performance sa box office, and the rating was also very bad. Na yung it's rotten sa Rotten Tomatoes, so the people didn't like it. And which means na Sony lost their way of creating a proper Spider-Man film. That's why they look for help. And around this time, nabubuo na ng Marvel Studios at yung Disney, yung MCU. Also around this time, they already have Avengers 1, Avengers 2, they got Guardians of the Galaxy, and film after film, puro positive ratings. Around the time when they're shooting Civil War, Captain America 3 Civil War, that was also around the time na yung Sony nakipag-usap sa sa Marvel Studios on how should they approach Spider-Man, because pumapalpak sila. This was also around when North Korea leaked some Sony emails, at sa mga emails na yon, doon natin nalaman na Sony and Marvel are exchanging emails about the Spider-Man situation nga. And yung nangyaring email na yun kasi North Korea doesn't want Hollywood and Sony to show the interview to the public, which is a film by James Franco, at in-interview nila si Kim Jong-il yata or Kim Jong-un, I don't know his name, pero yung leader ng North Korea. So that's why they leaked the emails. So one day I was just sitting at the dinner table, at in-announce na lang ng Marvel mismo sa website nila na Spider-Man is coming to the MCU, and he will first appear on Captain America Civil War. And yung nangyari nga, it blew us away. Hindi ko na-expect na papag-usapan natin yung history ng Spider-Man deal ng Sony and Marvel. Anyways, napunta tayo doon. Nalabas yung unang trailer. Unang trailer ba? Yung second trailer. Nalabas yung second trailer. And then yung last shot on the roofs. Tinadading. Hey everyone. Sino yun? Naalala ko, pinanood ko yun. Super excited ako because I just want to see Spider-Man fighting alongside the Avengers. But it turns out na he's fighting alongside the Avengers, and he's also fighting against the Avengers, some members of it. So kasama sa deal ay lalabas siya sa kasi since ito yung deal kasi, yung deal ng Sony and Marvel ay Marvel Studios has the creative freedom to I need to be careful here. Ayaw ko magkamali. Marvel Studios is going to make the two Spider-Man MCU solo films. And I think alongside with that deal, lalabas si Spider-Man sa mga crossover events, just like which did happen sa Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, at Avengers Endgame. So, ang last part ng deal na yun ay yung Spider-Man Far From Home. And then, after Spider-Man Far From Home, that's when they need to make a new deal with Marvel, or wala na lang deal, kunin na lang ulit nila si Spider-Man sa yung sa sa universe nila. Kasi when they were doing Avengers Infinity War, kung hindi ko nagkakamali, Sony was also developing they're trying to build this villain universe, which exists Spider-Man villains. They started with Venom first, and then that thing got positive ratings. It did well sa box office, so Sony answered by having another Spider-Man villain sa catalog nila, which is Morbius. So while there are no confirmations na alam ko na Morbius is a part of the Venomverse, I think dun sila papunta. So what I'm trying to say ay right now sa focus lang tayo sa dalawa na to. There are two universes, okay? One is the MCU. At sa MCU, nandiyan si Spider-Man and the Avengers. On the Venomverse, we got Venom, Carnage, Riot, and, Morbius. Sony, which owns the Venomverse, cannot use a live-action character of Spider-Man sa Venomverse because it's going to confuse fans. And I think kasama sa deal na Marvel won't allow Sony to use, the Spider-Man character dito sa Venomverse. Kasi ayaw ng MCU, ayaw ng Marvel, ayaw ng Disney masira yung brand nila, Even though Sony owns the movie rights of Spider-Man, they still own him. Yung movie rights na to. They did sign a deal, kontrata, na they will allow Marvel to use the Spider-Man character when it comes to creative purposes. Pero Sony will do the marketing. Sony will pay for it to be produced. And then, pagdating sa distribution, it's also in Sony's part. Ang benefit sa Marvel ay while they're making the Spider-Man film like Homecoming and Far From Home, they can still use Spider-Man's popularity for movies like Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. So basically, both of them benefit from this. Sony gets the money, while Marvel doesn't get the money from the two solo Spider-Man films and the coming third one. I mean, they still get the money where there's a small percent lang nun. They can still have Spider-Man in the crossover movies, gaya ng Avengers, and they get 100% of the money, right? They get 100% of the money. That's why Sony's building this Venomverse. Kapag na-build up nila tong catalog of villains, let's say they made 4 villain movies, right? And it's successful. They can easily, once natapos yung deal, I think ang mangyayari kasi ang current deal ngayon, yung bagong deal na nangyari itong a few months ago after that divorce na nangyari between Marvel and Sony about Spider-Man. They broke up and then they made a deal again. 1 solo movie and 1 crossover movie. I think in this deal, they're going to give Tom Holland's Spider-Man a proper conclusion to the MCU. So by the time we get the last Spider-Man film, it's goodbye na siya sa MCU. However, it doesn't mean na it's a goodbye for Tom Holland. It might mean na this is comics. He might get teleported to a different universe, from the MCU to the Venomverse. He might be while Sony is building this catalog of villains, one day in the future, babaksak na lang si Spider-Man doon, yung Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So they can just do their own thing. While Marvel just, ini-ignore na lang nila. Kasi, by that time, Marvel doesn't care about the Spider-Man character anymore. He's not a part of the MCU anymore. He used to be, but now he's not a part of it. So, bahala na yung Sony doon. They got, um, they got Spider-Man back with with their own Venomverse now. So, bahala na lang yung Sony kung paano nila i-execute yung Spider-Man na to. Pero, lumayo yata tayo sa topic Pero, hindi natin usapan kung ano tong picture na to. See, right here, that's Spider-Man. So, okay, Jasper. Okay, nagets na namin yung deal. Ito na yung deal. Ito yung mga speculations mo na deal. Ba't nandiyan si Spider-Man? Okay. Nabasa ko yung comments. Ang sabi daw sa comments, murderer, diba? Murderer. Ito yung murderer. Naalala nyo guys, spoiler alert sa Spider-Man Far From Home. Naalala nyo guys, sinabi ni Mysterio na, sinabi ni J. Jonah Jameson, kinalat niya na pinatay ni Spider-Man si Mysterio, kaya murderer. Kaya pumangit ang public image ni Spider-Man when we left him. Huwag natin kakalimutan na itong universe na to ay a part of the Venomverse. While right now everything is confusing, while Venomverse has their own Spider-Man, but it's not Tom Holland. So in the Venomverse, maybe this version of Spider-Man did something that ruined his public image. Kaya napapagbintangan siya na murderer. And parang coincidence lang na ganun din ang nangyari kay Tom Holland sa MCU, doon sa Far From Home. However, itong picture na to, this exact picture of Spider-Man, it's just a screenshot of a loading screen sa Spider-Man PS4. And that costume is Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Yan yung Spider-Man ni Tobey Maguire, yung damit na yan. So does that mean this is Spider-Man 4? No. This is just Sony's way of telling the audience that, hey guys, this is the Venomverse. We got Spider-Man's villains here. Don't forget that we have our own Spider-Man too. It's just that our Spider-Man is not with us right now. Our Spider-Man is still at the MCU. Pero makikita niyo si Spider-Man eventually. Kasi I can see this thing getting edited maybe in a future special Blu-ray release into the MCU Spider-Man once na si Tom Holland ay mapunta na sa Venomverse in the future. Pero Jasper, ano yung last shot sa trailer? Ba't nandoon si Vulture? Okay. Ba't nandoon si Vulture dito sa Morbius na trailer? Ito naman nasabi ko It wasn't mentioned in the trailer na that was Vulture. While yes, this is a Spider-Man villain. Yes, this is the Venomverse. Huwag niyo kakalimutan na yung sinasabi ko na this is not the MCU. Yung Vulture sa MCU, I forgot the actor's name. Check ko lang kung paano actor. Michael Keaton. While Michael Keaton appeared here, dito sa Morbius trailer na to, it doesn't mean that Vulture appeared. You know, it's just Michael Keaton probably playing as a different character. Nagkataon lang na Michael Keaton appeared in two Spider-Man related films, which is Spider-Man Far From Home and now Morbius. Kasi kahit anong gawin natin, Venom and Morbius exist because of Spider-Man. You know, Spider-Man is the heart of this. Ugat lang sila, si Venom pati si Morbius. That's why even though this is his own movie, even though Sony doesn't need to hint Spider-Man existing on the Venomverse, in some shape or form in the future, Spider-Man will enter the Venomverse. And I think it will be Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Again, I think this is just a scummy move from Sony dahil instead of hiring a different actor, hinire nila mismo si Michael Keaton para lalong ma-confuse yung mga tao, which is working well. Marami na ako confused ngayon. Uy, si Vulture nandito, magbubukas ng Sinister 6. Yung costume na yan, yung costume na yan, that's not the MCU Spider-Man, no. That's the Sam Raimi Spider-Man from the Spider-Man 4 video game, which happens to allegedly murder someone, maybe Mysterio too, dito sa Morbius na trailer. So, ayun nga, yun lang yung masasabi ko. Haba ng pinag-usapan natin doon. So, what do you guys think? Connected ba to? Talagang, ano ba balak ng Sony dito, ha? Nililito lang ba tayo ng Sony? Pero yun nga, walang control yung Marvel dito because it's a Sony film. Sony can do whatever they want. Wag lang nila gamitin si Tom Holland in their films because right now they signed a deal, you know. So with that out of the way, let's move on with the fourth topic. At ang fourth topic natin ngayon ay yung top 11 films ko of 2019. So, pakita mo muna to sa inyo. And there's an app sa phones called the Letterboxd. It's like an app for movie lovers where they can review their movies. Malagay sila sa watch list. At they can also make a list, rating, you know, making top 10 lists and all, or recommendation list. So I signed up to that app just this month in the first few weeks. And, you know, it's a fun app for movie lovers like me and you. And I've watched a ton of movies last year. Isang Filipino movie lang napanood ko and it's Hello, Love, Goodbye yata. I think that's the title. Hello, Love, Goodbye. Please, sana hindi ako nagkakamali. Hello, Love, Goodbye. Yeah, Hello, Love, Goodbye. Featuring Catherine Bernardo and sino tong isa? I'm really bad with names, guys. Alden Richards. Napanood ko ito sa sinehan. And I really like the film, you know. Napaiyak din ako. Pero it didn't reach my top 11 films for that. Pero it's a very, very good film. Na-appreciate ko siya. And it's also the only Filipino film na napanood ko last year. Because while there are Filipino films on Netflix, Right now, hindi ako interesado sa kanila. Maybe someday. I'm not a fan of horror films. Kaya di ko pa napapanood yung Eerie by Bea Alonzo and yung film ni Ann Curtis. However, I did watch some Netflix films and I really loved them. And ito yung top 11 ko. And ito, in order sila. Sa top left, yung number 1. Sa bottom right, yung number 11. So let's start with number 11 first. Lion King. The Lion King. Bakit siya favorite ko? Bakit siya napunta sa 11? Well, I just believe na it's a technical achievement. Because from what I heard and from what I read, 99% of the film is CGI. So it's animated, CGI animated is lang yun. Yung alam, yung CGI style niya ay for live action. So while Disney claims that this is a live action film, it's impossible to shoot a Lion King movie with real life animals. That's why you have to CGI them. The Lion King 2019 is very good. I really appreciate that they kept the songs because this was directed by John Favreau. Favreau. He directed Iron Man 1. He directed The Mandalorian. He was the showrunner for The Mandalorian. He also directed The Jungle Book in live action. And The Jungle Book only had this one song from the cartoons. And there's this they only did like an instrumental of another song from the cartoons. Here, itong Lion King, it's like a shot-by-shot remake of the cartoons, and they included all of the songs except for they included all of the songs. And they also added one more. While yung ibang kanta naman ay medyo binago nila. Gaya ng The Lion Sleeps Tonight, they completely redone The Lion Sleeps Tonight dito sa live action film na to. It's way longer. But ang kapalit naman, medyo ginawa nilang dialogue-ish yung singing part ni Scar doon sa Be Prepared. Which is kind of sad because Be Prepared is one of my favorite Disney songs. And, like kong kinakanta yun whenever I'm taking a shower. And them nerfing that song dito sa live action kind of made me sad. But it's still, anyways, it's a very good film. It's just that it doesn't level up with the cartoons. I still believe that the cartoon is a way better film. It flows properly more. Ang ganda tingnan ng cinematography. It's fun. It's way more fun to watch compared dito sa live action na to. So, bakit 11 instead of 10? Well, I really want The Lion King to be a part of my top 10 list, pero I can't. There's just a lot of other beautiful films na napanood ko, so I have to put it on number 11. And I really want to mention this, and I keep on recommending it to anyone that I know. Itong Lion King na to. And John Favreau didn't di siya masyado he didn't took liberties that much. he only took some liberties on the Pumbaa and Timon part, because their part were clearly expanded, thanks to the two actors too. And basically it's still a shot by shot film from the Lion King cartoon. So let's move with Ready or Not. This is one of the biggest surprises in 2019, because I watched it with a friend, because it's just around that time, yan lang yung pinaka-interesting na movie sa that's being shown that week. So hey, pumili lang ako. I didn't watch the trailers for this, and I didn't even know what it is about. I just, hey, ready or not, okay, panoorin natin. I actually thought this girl is Margot Robbie, pero hindi pala. It's actually Samara Weaving, at kamukha-kamukha yun sa Margot Robbie. Kaya madami ding tao nalilito eh. So this film is basically oh yeah, I remember that I've seen the trailers before. It's been played on the theaters, but I've only seen it several times lang, only a few times, but I didn't purposely watch it online because I wasn't that interested. Naging interesado lang ako kasi I was desperate to watch a movie sa theaters, and this is the only interesting thing. So it's just a movie about a bride, that just got married, and then she realized na itong pamilya na to are psychopaths. They need to play a game for her to be a proper member of the family. And that game is like, parang it's a randomized game, and naging malas lang siya na they're basically going to play like being like her.
Sorry, I can't make a telephony call with your iPad.
Sorry about that. It's basically a game na napili niya na she is going to be haunted by each of the family members. So she needs to survive. There's a lot of thrill. There's a lot of blood. It's a very gory movie, and it's just a fun movie to watch. Because it's entertaining, and if you just want to see gore, at kung gusto mong sumigaw, at gusto mong if you want some suspense elements, then watch Ready or Not, because it is the biggest surprise. And I really feel the character, the bride character, talagang I was really I was trying to, behind her back, gusto ko siyang manalo and stuff, and that's it. So let's move on with the number 9 film, Shazam, which is also a surprise. I've been excited for this film because the DC Cinematic Universe is okay. They released Man of Steel, which I think is very good. They also released Batman v Superman, which I think was fine. And then they released the Justice League, which I thought was if Batman v Superman is fine, then Justice League was just okay. I still think Batman v Superman is a better film than the Justice League, and that's just saying a lot, because this is the Justice League. Avengers just set up the bar so high na hindi talaga na-reach ng Justice League. Hindi na-reach ng Justice League. I just thought na paglabas ko ng sinehan after Justice League, I just, okay, fine. Yun lang. I'm not excited for a part 2, but okay. And then they released Aquaman around December, and that thing earned $1 billion, sa sinehan, which is a box office success. And it's directed by nalimutan kong parang director, pero it's a very fun film. yung Aquaman na yun. There's a lot of fun action, and Jason Momoa is a very fun character to watch as Aquaman himself, and he's very likable. And that's like the first DC film from the DC cinematic universe na it wasn't dark. It's just plain fun. And then that's why I got excited for Shazam, because Shazam is like following Aquaman's footprints. So I watched the movie. It got premiered around February, kung hindi ako nagkakamali. And building up to that movie, I've been watching trailers and sneak peeks, first looks, and I'm just getting these Deadpool vibes from him. This is like the Deadpool of the DC cinematic universe, because it's just a character that is, Deadpool is aware of everything that's happening to him, that he is even breaking the fourth wall, which is fun to watch. He's interacting with the audience. Shazam does the same thing too. While he doesn't break the fourth wall, he's just aware that he has superpowers. And what if a kid got superpowers? Paano ka magre-react? Well, there's the movie Shazam. It shows how a kid will react if he got powers. And yeah, it's just fun. This is the better Captain Marvel film that year, because even the MCU Captain Marvel didn't reach my top 11, because I thought that movie was fine. But this thing in Shazam movie, it's very good, especially the scenes ending, which I don't want to spoil. And then there's also this part in the movie where the bad guy was talking to him. And then si Shazam naman, ano, di kita marinig. Kasi literal na, it's one of the movie, it made fun of a movie trope. Kaya it's just funny to watch when it got executed. And then my number 8 in the list is The Irishman. The Irishman is a very, for me, ako, because I always have a hard time understanding a film story. I always have a hard time of following the story. Usually what happens is I really need to read the subtitle well. Kasi slow ako. Hindi ko masyado nagigets agad yung nangyayari sa story nga. So I have to read the subtitles, then after watching the movie, I have to read the plot again on Wikipedia. I have to read some analysis of the film itself, just to get, para lang maintindihan ko yung story. And The Irishman, what I like about it, it was directed by Martin Scorsese, who made the infamous Marvel is not cinema statement. But he also directed some films na napanood ko dati, which is films like The Last Temptation of the Christ, where where Jesus Christ was played by sino pa, yung gumanap na Green Goblin sa Spider-Man 1, where he survived parang a what if scenario, what if Jesus survived the cross thing, what if nagkaanak siya, parang ganon. And Martin Scorsese also directed the film The Wolf of Wall Street, which I really appreciate, at talagang nagustuhan ko nung first time ko siya napanood, because it's just so fun to see Leonardo DiCaprio being not Leonardo DiCaprio. And I guess diba, pero it's just fun when Leonardo DiCaprio is having fun in his role. The Irishman is a story about um, I already forgot their names, pero about the Irishman na he got hired to do some um painting painting missions, because this was based on the book called I Heard You Paint Houses, which means some mob story, some mob statements, some mob vocabulary. It means that I heard you murder people for money, you know. So the Irishman, the person itself, is very good at it because he was a World War II veteran. So he murdered people for money. The great thing about this movie is it's very complex in a good way because each minute is you get a lot each minute. Ang dami nangyayari bawat minuto sa movie na to that you really need to be careful when you're watching it. The acting is very good too. We got Al Capone and from the Scarface movie, and we also got the other guy na nalimutan ko na yung pangalan, pero he was from the Home Alone movies as one of the burglars. Let me just look for his name. Joe Pesci. And the other guy's name, yung Irishman pala, si Robert De Niro. He also appeared in Joker as the host doon. And Robert De Niro has been on the same role for several years. He's been always this gangster, like a part of the mob, But this is my second Robert De Niro film. Because my first Robert De Niro film was Joker. So ito yung second exposure ko sa kanya. I still haven't watched the other mob movies like The Godfather, Scarface. And this is actually my first mob movie, itong Irishman. And hearing about it getting going to be available on Netflix really made me happy because Netflix needs more of this quality films, and that we got The Irishman, and sabi ko, it's very good. It's a 3-hour movie. It's pretty long, but it's very good. It's just all about the things you do in life. Do they really serve a purpose? And when you grow older, when you think back about the deeds that you did, were they necessary? Do you regret killing those people? It's a very complex movie, but it's very good. It's very good. It's very good. It's very good, especially the ending. And also there's since it's a movie about killing, there's also a lot of gruesome scenes which I really appreciate. See, I'm a fan of blood and stuff. And also they also did the pinabata nila yung mga tao dito, like what tawag dito? Like what the MCU did kay Robert Downey Jr. in the Civil War movie, and dun din sa Ant-Man. So itong tatlong leads na to, matatanda na sila, but they were able to make them younger through CGI and makeup, which is very good, very very good. Medyo halata in some scenes, pero that's a fit in movie technology. So let's move with the other story. Speaking of stories, let's move with the other story, which is number 7. Tama ba? 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 is a very good film. Kaya nandiyan sa top. Because Toy Story, the franchise itself, I grew up watching these movies. Still sa apat na movies na to, I still love, I still prefer, and I still think that Toy Story 2 is the better film. Pero people have been asking, why do we need a Toy Story film? Because we already ended with 3. Ang masasabi ko lang ay Toy Story 3 ended the story with Andy. You know, it's all about growing up. And Toy Story 4 is about ending the story with Woody. It's basically the like some kind of epilogue sa Toy Story 3. What happens to Woody, you know? And it's all about while Toy Story 3 is all about growing up, Toy Story 4 is all about trying new things, discovering new things, and you know, you don't always need to rely on your comfort zone on doing the same stuff. You also need to try new things to discover new things, you know. And that's the story of Toy Story 4. I love Woody here. I love that Bo Peep returned. I think she's one of the highlights of the film. They also got Keanu Reeves in the movie as like this motorcycle stunt guy. And this film, I watched it sa sinihan with a lot of kids, and by the ending, I don't want to spoil anything, but by the ending, iyak ko nang iyak. Like, I was trying to hide my tears in front of these kids because the row was full of kids and behind me was another row of kids and I was in the middle. Ako na mag-isa. Well, there are some other people sa gilid-gilid. I was really crying and I was trying to hold my tears because it's really hard to say goodbye to these characters, especially when I grew up with them as a child. And I also used to have the toys themselves. So yeah, it's a very beautiful film. And then let's move to Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man Far From Home, while not better than Homecoming, is still a very good film. I remember calling in sick just to watch the film. Kasi, you know, movies here in the US, they get released on Fridays. There are times when if it's a big film, they get released on Thursdays. On Thursday nights. Here, I think it was on Wednesday. So it was around Wednesday midnight. So around Wednesday 1 o'clock a.m. Which is weird. I don't know why, pero yun na nangyari. So I watched the film. Again, it's very good. It's like an epilogue to Avengers Endgame. And it just followed the story of Spider-Man and what happens to the world after the spoiler alert sa Avengers Endgame, pero I'm pretty sure na napanood mo na to. What happens after Avengers Endgame? You know, what happens to the world after Avengers Endgame, yung bumalik na yung mga tao. So it tells that story while making some fun of it, because you know Infinity War and Endgame are very dark films. Imagine killing off and wiping off 50% of life, and the kids here, just making fun of the extinction event, something na yun. It's just fun to watch. And it's also a very visually appealing film. There's like this dream sequence with him against Mysterio, and it was such a beautiful scene. Na each second of it can be made into a wallpaper. And bala kong hanapin yung scene na naman niyan para gawin kong baka lang sa computer. So let's move to Avengers Endgame. Do I need to say more? It's very good. Still not as good as Infinity War. Ako may ko mag-compare, guys, ha. Not as good as Infinity War, but it's a very good film. The perfect conclusion to the 10 years of what Marvel Studios has been building. Very fun, comic booky scenes. Amazing fan service. Just the proper amount of fan service without it being, parang too much and OA na. I just hope that they made the last scene longer, like the last fight scene longer, because it is a battle, and battles kinda need to be long for me para ma-appreciate, kasi this is also the last Avengers film around this phase na to. So we need a big hurrah for these characters. No. So yung I think medyo maiksi lang yun. Pero overall, the first half was kind of slow, but it grew on me. I clapped, I cried, and hearing the audience around me while watching it in theaters, hearing their reaction, it's just one of the amazing movie experience that you can get. At minsan lang mangyari to. Minsan lang mangyari to. Let's move to Rocketman. This is a movie about. Oh no, nalimutan ko pa na sino kumanta. Oh wait, Rocketman. It is a movie about Elton John, the singer, the one who sang Rocketman. Nalilimutan yung kanta, lagi ko pinapatugtog yan. Yung he sang Rocketman, I'm Still Standing, Your Song, those movies. And it's based on a true story. I only watched this because of Bohemian Rhapsody from 2018. I wasn't expecting it to be that good. Talagang nagustuhan ko. So, hey, if we got a good based on a life story film about a band, hey, maybe Rocketman can do the same thing about an individual. And the best thing about this is that the Elton John is still alive. So watching his story, how he became a success, and still knowing that there's basically a legend walking among us right now, and I still keep on listening to his songs, and wala masabi. Taron ano mo paano ito? Taron Argenton. Let me see the name. Taron Egerton. Wow. He's basic. What he did here is what Rami Malek did in Bohemian Rhapsody. He perfectly captured the person they're playing in the movie. At the best thing about Rocketman, he really sang the songs, and he also played the piano. It was him who's playing the Elton John's music. It was his voice, which is hindi ko na-expect. And well done lang, Taron. You're an amazing person, and I just like that he really did justice to Elton John and to his music. And so well done. Wala nang ibang masabi. It's just a very good film. You guys need to watch it. And itong lahat na nasa list na to, I recommend you guys, watching it because they're just very good. And I still remember this. I was watching this in the theater only by myself and two old people sa kaliwa ko. And that's it. I hope na sana lumaki pa yung umani sa box office, pero hindi masyado yata. I just hope that more people watch it because it's very good. And I still keep listening to his songs. Elton John and Taron Egerton, they do covers together. Sometimes Taron will guest appear to one of Elton John's concert. Pinapod ko sila. They did a ton of duets together while singing my favorite Elton John song. So this film is a blessing. And then we got the third film, Joker. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. This film is amazing, mga brad. First exposure ko kay Joaquin Phoenix ay dun sa movie na Her, where it was on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's still on Netflix, but it's about a guy having a relationship with an AI, and the AI is Scarlett Johansson. It was a very good film, but I didn't. But Joaquin Phoenix performance there was just good. Nothing groundbreaking, but I still believe in him. And ikukulit ko na sarili ko. My first exposure to him pala is Gladiator, because he's the bad guy there. Pero back then I didn't know who he is. So I watched Her to know how he performs in a film bago in preparation for Joker. And then Joker appeared. You really feel bad for the person. The whole movie, you can change the name to, you can change the title to just Arthur Fleck, and it's still the same movie. It's a story about Arthur Fleck, and fina-follow lang natin siya through his perspective. 99% of the film nandun siya. How he goes by his days, how people interact with him, because he has this disorder about him not being able to control his laughter. And there was this scene in the bus where he was playing with a kid, and then nawiwirdan yung nanay. And we know whenever Arthur Fleck is being uncomfortable, he cannot control his laughter. Imagine in a scenario na everything's so awkward, now where you need to be quiet, but your body keeps on making you laugh for no apparent reason other than you have a disorder. Imagine that you have to give a card to that person beside you just to apologize. And then that thing dun sa bus nangyari ulit sa train. I remember him trying to get this card again, this apology card, but only to get napagtripan lang ng mga tao doon sa train na yon. I really feel bad for Joker, for Arthur. And they really changed, while they took some inspiration from the Killing Joke, because he was a failed comedian. This is a very original take on the Joker, which I wasn't expecting na it's going to be that good. People keep on comparing this to Taxi Driver, which I think is a Martin Scorsese film, because even though Martin Scorsese's comments about the Marvel movies, about comic book movies in general, he still is one of the reasons why Joker exists. Him and Todd Phillips went to the studio and pitched this movie. That's why we got Joker. That's why Martin Scorsese's fingerprints are in the movie. That's why it felt like a Martin Scorsese film. It's because of Martin Scorsese's involvement. That's why it's a very good film. I love the dialogue. I love the pacing. It's a movie where you're following the character, and he's going to be a Joker eventually, pero ayaw mo siya mapunta sa path na yun. It's like it's like your friend. Now you've been following for many years. You've been with for many years. You know he's going down a path na magiging malala sa kanya, and you just watch him slowly decaying because it's either he keeps on doing drugs, he keeps on doing things that is not good to him. It's like this film, Joker. So let's move with my number two film, The Two Popes. The Two Popes is um, it's a surprise because actually, you know why this is top 11 too? It's actually top 10, pero wala yung Two Popes. Napunta lang yung Two Popes after watching the film just this month. I watched it on the second week of the month after the Pope incident, yung namalo siya. I was just curious. I watched the trailer, and it turns out that it's a movie about Pope Benedict XVI and Pope Francis. I was always this curious kung paano, kung ano nangyari, why did Pope Benedict XVI resigned as the Pope? Is that possible? Turns out that it is possible, but it happened like 100 of years ago. So you have this unique situation where we got two popes in this generation. We got to see how the Pope Benedict XVI administration transformed into the Pope Francis administration. How these two popes are two different popes. How they view Catholicism differently. Their personalities are different. Pope Benedict XVI is a very shy person. He prefers to stay alone, just like me. He reminded me of him. While Pope Francis is very charismatic, he's very welcoming, friendly, he goes around. That's why people love him. And it's a movie about just constant dialogue. It's just two people talking. And it's really fun to read the lines while subtitles lumalabas, and it's really fun how they interact with each other because the performance is very good. Pope Benedict XVI is Sir Anthony Hopkins. He is Thor Odinson sa Thor movies. He's also the guy from Transformer Last Night. And Pope Francis is this actor from Game of Thrones. And which I find funny because Pope Francis and this actor look the same. So it turns out that behind the scenes, the director was trying to make this movie, and then he keeps on seeing these memes, these photos of the Game of Thrones character and Pope Francis comparison photos, and the director just decided to hire that actor for this role. And turns out it's one of the best decisions he did because both of them are very good. They perform very well. They really captured the popes from what I can see from the videos on YouTube. And yeah, biggest surprise, one of the biggest surprise for this 2019, Two Popes. It's available on Netflix right now, and you guys have to watch it. Sorry guys, naubusan ng boses. And I think we have to before we go to the number one, I think we have to stop. We have to skip itong last topic natin because we already went past 1 hour, and I'm already losing my voice, and I still have school tomorrow, very early in the So let's finish with this thing. Let's go back. Okay, so number one, Marriage Story. starring Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. The only reason I watched this film is because I wanted to see more of Scarlett Johansson. Because I've only seen her as Black Widow. I haven't seen her other movies like Lucy and the anime based movie, yung parang cyberpunk yung style. So I wanted to see how she performs in a different story, in a different atmosphere. And Adam Driver, I just keep on hearing that he's very good, and he's also Kylo Ren in the Star Wars universe. And Kylo Ren is currently one of my favorite Star Wars characters. So I watched the film. Wow. I don't know what to say, but this is probably the best um, performance of any actor or actresses that I have seen in this decade. Because last decade, it was John Lloyd Cruz on his role in One More Chance. It was only John Lloyd Cruz. And then this decade, Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, especially the argument scene in the middle of the film. Ang ganda ng script. It's a story about divorce. Both of them have two goals. One is to separate properly with no bad blood, because they have to dahil sa career nila. They're not compatible. And two, they wanted to do it for while not affecting the childhood of their son. So you just see this back and forth na they're trying to do their best. You really know that they respect each other. They're trying to do their best for also the best of their child. However, the villains of the film is the idea of the, divorce itself. Yung attorneys, sila mismo yung kalaban. Because the attorneys keep on pushing them to do things that they don't want to do with each other. And it's instead of breaking up, instead of separating properly with no bad blood, lalo lang dumalala is because of this reasons that the lawyers keep on telling them on what and on what not to do. Everyone played very well in the movie. You can really see the love of the mothers. You can really see the mother's love for her son. She has her own stuff na sa tingin niya mabibuild ang relationship niya pati sa anak niya. And also on Adam Driver's part, he's also trying to deal with his son. He's trying to give time as much as he can, because he keeps on teleporting, flying over the United States, because his work is on New York, but his life, his relationship, his family is on LA. So this is also a story about a long distance relationship, and how it can affect people who are really trying to look at their career, kaya yung inaayos na yung career nila. So it's a scenario that can happen in real life, because of career, because of goals, your personal goals, your dreams, because of the people around you, you just cannot you just cannot live a life of just one happy family, because there will always be complications. The lawyers are very good here too. Yung babaeng lawyer and then yung lalaking lawyer. However, I didn't like the child itself. Sometimes I find the child annoying, you know. And one of there's a lot of scenes in the movie na very memorable. Na-mention ko na yung argument scene sa gitna, but there's also this scene. There's this scene where Adam Driver is with his son, and they're just merong inspector na babae there. She inspect how Adam Driver and his son lives, kung paano tinatrato ni Adam Driver yung anak niya. And they're just this one small accident na nangyari, which I find very funny. So yun na guys, I think we need to stop. We're going to talk about the very special love trilogy next episode. Right now wala nang boses, and I really need to sleep. It's already 3:27 a.m. and I still need to upload this video. And again, thanks for watching. If you reach all of this, if you're already on the 1 minute and 26 mark, thank you for watching, guys. For more videos, please click on the subscribe button kung nasa YouTube ka. And if you're listening this on audio, always please just follow me kung ano yung options doon. I'm available on Anchor and on your own podcast app. Please share this to your friends if you know some friends na, especially Filipino, audience na pinafocus ko, Filipino movie lovers, so that I can get more people to talk with. You can ask questions on my Twitter. Just look for my name, Gigahertz, and chat me. And again, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for everything. And I hope you guys have a very good night. And God bless. Till the next episode, guys. Goodbye.